Hey everyone, have you ever wondered if it's even still worth it to learn a new language?
Oh, yeah, totally. Especially now.
Like when you have all this
Yeah,
crazy AI stuff.
with all the apps and AI and everything.
Yeah, it's like I could just pull out my phone and have a conversation with somebody who speaks a totally different language.
Right. It's amazing.
Yeah. So we're going to deep dive into that today.
We are.
Is it even worth it to learn a new language when you've got these AI translators pretty much in your pocket?
Yeah.
We've got a bunch of different articles here from language learning platforms, blogs, even linguistic experts. We've got Go Overseas.
Cool.
We've got The Linguist on Language.
Okay.
We've got one called MEITS, which stands for Multilingualism, Empowering Individuals, Transforming Societies.
What a mouthful.
I know, it's a lot,
Yeah.
but they're all kind of tackling the same question. Right?
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting because, the advancements in AI translation are incredible.
Yeah, it's like
It's mind-blowing. Like real-time voice translation, Skype translator.
it's like we're living in the future.
Totally.
But the sources also point out that even the most advanced tech
Yeah.
still has its limitations.
Oh, for sure.
So on the one hand, we have these amazing tools like Google Translate,
Yeah.
which has gone from basic phrase book to
Right. Like when I was a kid, it
Yeah.
was just like a little.
a little digital dictionary almost.
Yeah, and now it's like.
A portable interpreter.
Exactly.
One of the articles actually features a linguist
Okay.
named Steve, who's learned 10 languages since he turned 60.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah, and he uses Google Translate as his main dictionary for Arabic and Persian.
Interesting.
So he talks about how he uses it to look up words, look up phrases,
Yeah.
even analyze grammar structures, and access authentic content in the languages he's learning.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's like having a tool to break it all down for you.
Yeah.
I love that.
But here's where things get a little tricky.
Okay.
Maybe even a little concerning.
All right.
The articles also talk about some pretty big translation mishaps. Some funny, some actually kind of scary.
Oh, no.
There was a case about a U.S. trooper who was using Google Translate during a car search.
Oh, gosh.
And it caused a whole legal mess.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then there was that story about that Palestinian construction worker whose Facebook post that just said good morning got mistranslated as attack them.
That's terrifying.
I know. It led to his arrest.
Oh, my goodness.
Makes you think twice about just trusting those translations.
How much can we really trust these tools, especially in situations where accuracy is super important?
Right, especially when the stakes are so high.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even the smaller mistakes can be problematic.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
One article mentioned a patient whose discharge instructions said, "Your United States was normal."
Clearly a mistranslation of some kind of medical term. It's just, like you said, makes you think twice about relying on it completely.
Absolutely.
So even though this technology is evolving so quickly, it seems like it still struggles with the nuances of language.
Yeah, especially cultural nuances and, things related to emotion.
Yeah, it's like trying to explain a joke that's based on a cultural reference.
Totally.
The words might translate fine, but the humor doesn't come across.
Yeah, you lose the meaning behind it.
And those cultural nuances often carry a lot of weight.
Oh, for sure.
Especially when you're trying to build relationships or be in sensitive situations.
Exactly.
The sources argue that learning a language is about way more than just understanding the words.
Yeah.
It's about connecting with a culture, understanding its humor, its idioms.
Yeah, like getting a feel for the culture.
Yeah. It's about getting that unique perspective on the world.
I love that.
And the Go Overseas article talks about the cognitive benefits of bilingualism.
Oh.
They talk about studies that show that learning a new language can actually improve your brain function,
Interesting.
your memory, even your multitasking skills.
Start that brain workout.
Yeah.
I like that.
So it's not just about being able to order a coffee when you travel.
Right.
It's about giving your brain a boost.
Totally.
And then they also touch on the emotional aspect of language learning.
Okay.
They talk about a personality shift
Interesting.
that some bilingual people experience when they switch between languages.
Huh?
They say people might feel more assertive, outgoing, even more emotional, depending on the language they're using.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah. It's like different parts of your personality come out when you speak different languages.
Oh, cool.
It's wild. Like my husband,
Yeah.
I swear he becomes a different person
Wow.
when he switches between the 3 languages that he speaks.
That's incredible.
Is he?
It just shows you how much language is tied to who we are
Yeah.
as people.
So we've got brain benefits, cultural insights,
Mhm.
personality shifts. It sounds like learning a language is like unlocking a whole new dimension of yourself.
Yeah, totally.
But let's be real, learning a language takes.
It takes work.
It takes time and dedication.
Definitely.
It's a big commitment.
For sure.
And with all these awesome translation tools out there,
Yeah.
it's easy to be like, why bother?
Exactly.
So where do we find the balance?
That's the big question, right?
Yeah.
I think it's about you finding that balance, right? Like technology can be such a great support system,
Yeah.
but it shouldn't be a crutch.
Exactly.
Like Steve the linguist we were talking about earlier,
yeah.
he says that technology should enhance language learning,
Mm-hmm.
not replace it.
Right. It should help you learn,
Yeah,
not do the learning for you.
exactly.
It's like you could use apps to access authentic content in other languages or like
Yeah.
get grammar checks or even like practice pronunciation.
Mhm.
It's like having a personal language tutor
Right.
in your pocket.
Exactly.
I use translation apps all the time when I travel,
Oh, yeah, me too.
especially for like quick questions or directions.
Yeah.
But I always feel like I'm just scratching the surface.
Oh, yeah.
Like that deeper connection you can only get from actually speaking the language.
Yeah, and that's something that technology just
Yeah.
can't replicate yet,
Not yet.
you know? It's about understanding, like, the soul of a language.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
The soul of a
Because
language.
Not just the vocabulary.
Yeah. And that reminds me, the
Mhm.
PICE article talks about
Oh, God.
the economic and strategic side of language.
Oh, yeah.
Like in today's global world.
It's so important these days to be able to communicate across cultures,
Mm-hmm.
right? But the article also points out that if we rely too much on technology,
Yeah.
we might actually see a decline in people learning languages,
Oh, wow.
which could have, like, all these consequences down the road.
So we could end up in a world
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
fewer and fewer people actually speak multiple languages
Exactly.
because they're relying on apps.
It's like we're taking a shortcut,
Yeah.
but we might be missing out on something really important.
Yeah. And it makes me think about like accessibility and power dynamics.
Oh, yeah.
Like most AI tools are developed using mostly English data,
Right?
which could make English even more dominant in
Mhm.
global communication.
Yeah, it's something to think about.
Yeah.
For sure.
It really makes you wonder about the future of languages that aren't as widely spoken.
Totally.
Will they kind of get lost?
Yeah, it's a valid concern.
So it seems like the decision of whether to learn a language in
Mhm.
this age of AI translation is more complicated than it seems on the surface.
Definitely.
There's no easy answer.
Right.
But maybe the key takeaway is that technology should be a tool
Mm-hmm.
to help us communicate better,
Mm-hmm.
not a replacement for actually learning languages.
Yeah, it's like having a superpower.
Oh, like that?
You know, it lets you connect with people and cultures in a real way.
And you can use gadgets to make that power even stronger.
Yeah.
But the real strength comes from you.
From the work you put in.
Yeah.
It's about finding that balance, you know?
Yeah.
Using technology, but not letting it take over.
So if someone's listening to this
Yeah.
and they're just like, whoa,
Yeah.
where do I even start?
I think the first thing is to think about why you want to learn a language.
Yeah.
What's your motivation?
Yeah.
Is it to connect with your family history or to travel or to get a better job or just because you love learning new things?
Yeah.
Once you know why you want to do it,
Yeah.
then you can figure out how technology can help you.
Like use an app to learn vocab and grammar
Yeah.
and then find ways to actually practice speaking with native speakers.
Exactly.
Whether it's online or in person,
Mhm.
it's like using technology as a stepping stone,
Yeah,
not a crutch. You're still putting in the work,
for sure.
but you're making it easier.
And more fun, right?
Yeah.
And remember,
Okay.
learning a language is a journey.
It's not a race.
It's about the process.
Exactly.
You know what I think is really cool about this whole conversation?
What's that?
It's not just about language. It's
Yeah.
about how we relate to technology.
That's true.
Like, how can we use it to make our lives better
Yeah.
without losing what makes us human?
It's about finding that balance
Yeah.
between the amazing things technology can do
Mhm.
and the things that make us unique as people.
So, as you're out there
Yeah.
in this crazy world,
Yeah.
remember that you have the power to choose
Mm.
how you use technology.
Don't have to let it control you.
Yeah. You can use it to empower yourself and open up all these possibilities.
Yeah.
And if you choose to learn a new language,
Yeah.
You're not just getting a new skill.
Yeah.
You're opening yourself up to a whole world.
A world of different cultures and different ways of thinking.
Yeah.
It can be really enriching.
All right, so we've talked about a lot of stuff today.
Oh, we have.
But before we wrap up...
I want to go back to those translation fails.
Oh, yeah.
They're hilarious sometimes.
They are.
And sometimes a little cringy.
But they're always a good reminder that technology isn't perfect.
Yeah.
It still has a long way to go.
And they can also help us learn.
Oh, for sure.
So I encourage everyone to check out the articles we mentioned.
Yeah, they're really interesting.
They have all these cool insights and stories that bring this whole debate to life.
And if you have any thoughts or experiences you want to share,
Yeah.
we'd love to hear from you.
It's a conversation that, like, everyone should be a part of.
Yeah, it's about the future of how we talk to each other.
Exactly.
And how we can make it work for everybody.
And it brings us right back to that question we started with.
Mm-hmm.
Is it even worth it to learn a language
Yeah.
when we have all this AI stuff?
It's a tough one, right? It depends on what you want to get out of it, what your goals are,
Right.
how much time you have, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I think after looking at all this research, it's pretty clear that learning a language gives you something special that no app can really replace.
Like you were saying before.
Yeah.
It's about empathy.
Uh-huh.
Seeing the world in new ways.
Yeah.
Really connecting with other cultures.
Exactly.
It's about embracing what makes us human.
You know, in a world that's all about being faster and more efficient, that human connection is really important.
So important. Okay, I want to leave everyone with one last thought.
Okay.
Imagine you're in like a busy market.
Okay.
Surrounded by new sights, new sounds.
Yeah.
You could use your translation app to get by.
Mm-hmm.
But wouldn't it be amazing to really talk to the people there?
Oh, yeah.
To share a joke.
Yeah.
Tell a story.
Connect on a real human level.
That's what learning a language can give you.
It opens up so many possibilities.
It does. So keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those conversations going.
Yeah.
Whether it's online, in person, whatever works for you.
Until next time.
Happy diving, everyone.